What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today's story flips the usual script. Americans, yes, Americans, are reportedly being deported from Mexico for living illegally and driving up the cost of living for locals. It's got people talking about gentrification, double standards, and privilege. Anyways, as always, shout out to all the original creators of the clips used in this video. Let's get into it.
Mexicans deporting Americans is the funniest thing I've learned this year so far. Apparently, Mexican authorities are deporting Americans who have colonized along the beaches and nicer areas of Mexico who do not have the proper documentation. So yes, they've been deporting them back to the States. And you know, it's ironic because Americans are like, oh, pack up your bags, you gotta go home or whatever. And well, the Americans who have thought to exhaust Mexican resources and go live the cheap life, right? In nice areas, well, pack up your bags and let's wrap it up.
The Mexicans said, if we got to go, y'all got to go. Yes, they're coming for you, Americans. There have been over 240,000 apprehensions over the past 60 days, and 7,000 Americans have been deported. And anybody who says that they did not see this coming, you're crazy, because think about it. We're trying to put them off of our land. Look how adamant we've been about that. You don't think they try to put us off of their land? And you don't think the Mexicans see them Americans over there living their best life just like we see the Mexicans over here living their best life? Do I feel bad? No. And I also understand why they'd want to do it. I mean, think about it. We go over there for leisure all the time. But we're like so adamant about trying to get them, like, make it make sense. And the Americans who went over there and decided to colonize on their land, I mean, of course we understand why they did. The American dollar has a higher value than the Mexican currency. You know, their businesses, there's better business opportunities. I mean, I understand why they did it, but their quality of life, the Mexicans, their quality of life is going down and prices on their businesses are increasing. So they're like, you got to get the fuck on. So any American who's been shacking up on Mexican land, if you don't have legitimate paperwork, they're coming for you. Yes, they're putting you on their bus and they're bringing you back over here. And you and the people who they're taking back probably gonna pass each other on the buses.
So Mexico have just Uno reversed America. And they're like, we're deporting you. We're deporting all of you. So go back to your own country. Go home. And they're doing it now and they're going to do it forever. They're like, go home.
This is too funny to me. Can you imagine Mexico actually doing some big deportation of Americans? They are deporting Americans. Now, let me just say this. I saw a video a while back where this Mexican was saying that sometimes some of them be laughing at America because cost of living is so cheap. Like, no matter what their income is, they're living a good life. They got money. Nice houses, nice home, because cost of living is so cheap, right? And of course I looked at it, keep on moving, because I ain't doing that kidnapping stuff. But neither here or there. Evidently some how can I say it, some white people is over there causing trouble. Now I thought, right, for y'all who saw the videos, that they were travelers, they were tourist people over there on vacation. No, y'all. These are people that have moved to Mexico, living in Mexico because cost of living is cheap and they could afford to live in Mexico. And they even said that some of them is over there, they working from home. In other words, they have like American jobs, but they're living over there, right? Because they're working from home. But neither here or there, they over there living off that cheap cost of living because they could afford to do it. But they ain't got no papers. They are considered illegal immigrants. Yeah, you get where this is going at, right? So, yeah, they're deporting Americans from Mexico. Now, I do hope, Lord, I do hope they're not putting them in cages the way Americans do Mexicans and these other people when they want to capture them at the border. And I also wonder, quick question, are these the same people that come back to America during an election and vote against the Mexican? Now, my video is not about immigrants and should nobody vote against the Mexicans and blah, blah, blah. Because y'all know that's what it is. Hey, Mexico's this, that, and whatever, right? But yet y'all taking y'all little happy behind over there living off the Mexican land. And now they deport y'all because y'all want to treat Mexico like Miami.
Mexicans deporting Americans is the funniest thing I've ever learned this year. So apparently Mexican authorities are deporting Americans who have colonized along the area of the beaches. Of course, in the nicer area of Mexico. If you don't have the proper documentation, they're going to deport you back to United States. And you know, the most ironic thing is that these racist American people go live in different countries like in Mexico to live this luxury, beautiful, cheap life. And now they're getting deported. Yeah, the ones that say, go back to your country, go back to Mexico, go back to Guatemala, go back to Venezuela, go back to Cuba. Yeah, those are the ones living the luxury, beautiful life. Well, guess what? You're getting deported back to the United States. These people have exhausted the Mexican resources to live that beautiful lifestyle that they have over there in Mexico that they cannot afford here in America. The table just turned. Pack it up, wrap it up, and go.
Okay, but if you kick out all the United States citizens from Mexico, then who's gonna raise the cost of living and price out all the indigenous people from living in their own country? No,
oh my
in the sense that, okay, but if you kick all the U.S. citizens out of Mexico, then who's gonna be in Mexico telling people that they need to speak English?
Oh no. Yeah,
Okay,
no,
but in the sense that. Okay, fine. But if you kick all of the U.S. citizens out of Mexico, then who's gonna overstay their visas and live in Mexico because the cost of living is lower, but then turn around and tell the Mexican people that they shouldn't be crossing into the U.S. for a quote-unquote better life?
Okay, girl, I can't
Okay,
really
but
say that. Oh my god.
So this is what happens when you get caught in Mexico. How did they even find me in the first place? I was coming back from a concert in a bus stop at a toll booth. Some guy came in asking for ID. I showed him my California ID, but I didn't have my passport. Next thing I knew, I was in a van. I got to the immigration office. They patted me down, took away all my belongings. They looked me up and they saw that I overstayed my 180-day tourist visa. Long story short, they didn't let me leave the immigration office until I bought my ticket to go back to the USA, which is crazy because I already have my dual citizenship in process, but it's not complete yet. That could be why it didn't show up in the system. The closest flight I could get had multiple stops. Before I went to LA, I stopped at Monterrey. I thought it was going to be a smooth process going back to the United States, but then this happened. I didn't get my little paper stamp that they give you when you enter the country, so I ended up missing my flight. And anyone that overstays their 180 days, you have to pay a fee of 717 pesos, which is $35. But since I'm being kicked out of the country, I didn't have to pay that Anyways, they got me another multiple stop flight. So it took me 2 more flights before I got back to the United States. Yes. And once I saw the Edgar cuts and the LA outfit, I landed back to the motherland.
Oh, wait, you can't go to Mexico because Mexico is kicking the Americans out of Mexico because they said that the Mexicans are having to deal with high inflation because the Americans are coming in there and it's increasing the prices of goods. Huh? Oh, but it's okay for us to take everybody in our country, right? But Mexico don't want no Americans. And then Mexico was freezing bank accounts. This was before Trump was even in office. So you can go look this up. Look, don't believe me because I'm saying it. Believe me because I'm telling you. Go look it up, okay? Mexico was freezing American bank accounts of people that were living in Mexico and seizing their bank accounts, okay?
And let me make something absolutely clear, unless it wasn't already. If you voted for Trump, you are not allowed in Mexico. You are not allowed in Cabos, Cancun, Puerto Vallarta, Aguascalientes, none of that. Guess what, baby? That's all in Mexico. You don't like us, we don't like you. Don't go there. Stay in your country. Figure it out. Vacation, I don't know, maybe Nebraska perhaps. One of the red states that you love so much. Stay there. Don't have margaritas, don't have tequila, no tacos, no enchiladas, none of that for you. Stick to what you know. Maybe a burger, perhaps. No cheese.
Take a look at this video.
Mexicans want Americans to self-deport themselves out of Mexico. Yes, you heard me right.
Kind of a lot of yapping.
Sounds kind of familiar, right? We had a mass invasion here. Now we're trying to send people out of our country. Mexico's doing the same thing.
She goes on to tell you how, they may be getting violent, blah, blah, blah. Look at this.
Let me know your thoughts on this.
I'll tell you what I think, what I know, right? So America, we've always exploited other countries. For manufacturing first, it was like China, whatever. Then it's Mexico, just looking for another leg up or whatever, right? Here's the difference. So Mexicans are coming here for a better life. America, we're one of the wealthiest countries in the world. People in our country go to their country. We're basically exploiting them. It's mostly people are going there for a cheaper cost of living. A lot of people down there, unfortunately, don't even respect the culture, that type of, they don't respect the people. It's kind of like what you see in Chicago. You go to certain little pockets at neighborhoods like Pilsen, or look at how Logan Square has gentrified, right? A lot of the people that used to live there can't anymore, or like Seattle when the tech boom happened. Unlike what we do to them to gentrify and make things more expensive and more difficult for the people that live there, Mexicans come to America, they actually make the American economy way stronger. They make it so we are like basically a superpower, that we stay a superpower. Without Mexicans doing all the jobs that we don't want to do, we would not be where we are right now. So again, Americans go to Mexico to make the country worse. Cost of living goes up. Mexicans come to America to keep our cost of living from going up. Do you understand?
Rent in the past 5 years has increased by 47%.
So here's the twist nobody expected. Americans are heading to Mexico in large numbers, not just for vacation, but to live. And why? Because life is cheaper down there, until it's not. Locals are now complaining that these undocumented Americans are using their strong US dollars to rent properties, start businesses, and drive prices up, right? Making it harder for everyday Mexicans to survive in their own communities. And this has led to increasing resentment. In fact, some Americans are being called gentrifiers, people who change a neighborhood so much that it pushes out the original residents, right? And you know how this usually goes. Once rent goes up, the vibe of the place changes, and soon it's no longer home for the people who have lived there for generations, right? And the irony, some people, some of these Americans, they don't even have the proper documents to be living in Mexico, right? Now, imagine if the roles were reversed. We already know how that would, play out, right? So now Mexicans are pushing back. They're demanding that these undocumented gringos, if I may, either follow the law or get out. Anyways, let me know, what do you think? Is this karma, or do you think that it's just economics playing out in real time? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Also, please like, share, and subscribe if you want more content like this.
Mexico cracks down heavily on undocumented migration. Camps around the capital here have been removed, this being one of the last remaining.
Ya quedó así, no vino migración, no vino nadie a decir nada.
De aquí se han ido con varias personas, se han ido muchos ya. El de aquí de este ranchito aquí ya se fue ya el miércoles pasado.
So many migrants.
Now, if the United States had undocumented immigrants living like this in sheds, there would be an outrage, an outcry. But I guess this type of information they want to suppress from the public, because it took me hours to find this information. And it's wild because the U.S. have undocumented immigrants living better than U.S. vets that's homeless.
Y'all, I am getting deported from Mexico after living here for 4 years. Let's talk about it. And I know I look a mess. Stay focused. Ever since I started sharing my life in Mexico, people have been calling me a gentrifier or telling me I need to go back to my country. Normally, I let those comments roll off my back. But ever since Trump's inauguration on Monday and President Claudia Sheinbaum's recent statement about deporting Americans in response to U.S. immigration policies led by the Orange Clown, the comments have been coming in hot. And to be honest, I couldn't care less about the comments, but I do feel like it's important that I address all of the stuff that has been taking place. So if you didn't know, Claudia is Mexico's first woman president. She's been out here matching Trump's energy to a T. And I feel like she's been also talking to him the way he deserves. Honestly, it's refreshing to see a leader who's willing to get in the trenches for her people, because I feel like we have not seen that in decades when it comes to Mexico. Let's start with the facts, because you know I love some good facts before I get into my opinion. Last week, after Trump's years of ranting about illegal immigrants stealing black jobs, they were eating the animals. And it's funny that some people want to believe this just started. This started way before his first term as president, okay? This is not a new day. This is not a new Trump. So basically, Claudia responded and said, cool, if you're deporting our people, we'll deport yours too. Now, nothing is official yet, but people keep asking how I feel as a legal resident cardholding immigrant possibly facing deportation. And here's Karina's truth. Claudia is just reciprocating energy. She was really trying to kumbaya with Trump, and he basically hit her with a no thanks. We're going to keep doing what we've been doing. And by the way, we'd like to get the Gulf of America. We're going to buy that up off you, sweetheart. And here we are. I love my life here in Mexico. But would I be devastated if I got deported? No, and here's why I wouldn't be upset at all. The circumstances for Americans being deported from Mexico are not the same as Mexicans being deported from the US. Most Americans here, including myself, we came by choice. Some of us moved here for a lower cost of living, remote work opportunities, or just a slower, more peaceful lifestyle. No matter our reasons for moving to Mexico, most of our income for immigrants or expats still come from the US. So we do have options. The stakes are so much higher for the people being deported from the US. Now, do I think the president of Mexico is going to start deporting legal residents like me first? No, I don't think that. But if it gets to that point, I completely understand. I said this earlier. She's standing up for her people in a way we haven't seen someone stand up for Mexico in decades. And if I have to pack up and go because she's refusing to let Trump continue his nonsense, then so be it. I'm not afraid. I'm not angry. I'm not sad. I'm none of these emotions people want me to be. Now, let me say this. If y'all catch me getting married to my child's father to stay in Mexico, just know I changed my mind and I realized I'm not leaving Mexico and I had to find a way to stay. But here's the thing. When I see comments telling me to go back to my country, it's not a dig to me. I've lived in 4 different countries and I can adapt. I will adapt. So at the end of the day, I've made peace with whatever comes next. I'm gonna be all right regardless. All right, so that's it for today's Sit and Speak or Walk and Talk. I know it was a lot of information, but I just wanted to address the deportation things and let people know I'm good. I'm all right. Y'all make sure y'all stay dry out there. I know some places in the world, they had snow. We having rain. And I'll see you on the next episode of Karina's Walk and Talk. Now, maybe it won't be from Mexico anymore, and that's all right. Just know I'll still be sharing my journey with y'all and living my best life no matter where I am in the world. Take care. Cuídate.